Especially welcome to the show for everyone. This is Extra Speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Margaret, it happens here every day from the Spice Center, 19 and 21 Anongo Agbecha Street, Judges Quarters here. And it's about you, it's about the family, it's about society. We begin at this stage. Extra Speed, and I'm King James YiYE. I'm not alone, I'm with
Mmemshima King.
Right. So on the show this morning, we'll be looking at questions children ask. If you like, we are calling it childish questions. Childish questions, So they sound as if they're childish in a way, yeah. But of course, when you go deep, they've got a lot of meaning, and parents have not been able to provide answers to most of these questions. And that's what we're going to look at today. So if you are a parent and you've been asked those questions that you never had an answer, it's time for you to call 08084275464. That's 08084275464. We're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can be part of this as well. Childish questions. These are the questions children ask, and you don't find an answer in most cases. So these are the questions here on Extra Speed. If you want to call 08084275464, that's 08084275464. Childish questions. If you like, say questions children ask. Now here, let me put you on the spot, Mmemshima. Who asks you some of those questions more among the kids?
I think Vinci does.
Big man.
Yes, he asks, a whole lot of questions. But I'm trying to place my head to remember them, but I can't remember them. But I think there was an incident when Anderson was outside, so the dogs were trying to meet, and she was like, "Mommy, the dogs are fighting, but I couldn't answer her, to tell her if they were fighting or they were trying to create kids for themselves, puppets.
For themselves or for you?
For themselves, obviously.
When they have those puppies, do they make use of the puppies? Is it not you?
They don't.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Extra Speed here on 98.5 Speed FM Makudi, and we're looking at questions your children ask you that you don't have answers. If you've asked yourself and you remember, you can call us on 08084275464. So they have a lot of wisdom in those questions, right?
Yes, they
So as usual and as always, the Lamashigodibi team is out to find out from people those questions that children have asked them, and those questions that if they remember, they've asked their own parents, at some point. So that's what we're going to find out now. It's Extra Speed here on 98.5 Speed FM.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
My son asked me, how did I get pregnant? I don't know how to answer him. I just told him that when he grow up, he will know. So when I had the boy, he asked me, where did the boy come from? How did he come out? Because my friend just gave birth and it was CS. So he was saying the daughter of my friend told him that they teared the mom and brought out baby. But what about my own? They did not tear me. So like that one, I don't know how to answer him. I just say the baby come out. I don't know how to answer him.
I wonder why they ask those kind of questions.
Ask them why they ask. Because I don't know too.
Yeah, I think they are just so curious to know these things, But I feel it's not yet time to explain to them. But then, if you look at it again, it's also good to try and educate them in a certain way.
How would you?
Well, maybe you can just tell them that there are two ways in which children come to the world, But I can tell you this one, but I think along the line you will get to know the other one at a point.
You are just saying this.
I'm just saying that.
Like
really.
the woman who said, yeah.
Okay.
How can a child ask you, how did you get pregnant? And you attempt to answer. visibly is that possible?
It's not. Maybe you
exactly.
can say, maybe
The
daddy
woman
touched
simply-
me.
No.
Touching.
No.
Does-
No. The woman simply said, when you grow up, you know.
You would know.
And you can't blame her.
But you know,
Because
they are
how
also
else?
advising us that we should try and educate these
It depends.
children.
No, who is advising you? Nobody should teach you how to run
Especially a
your
girl
family.
child.
That's what you're telling you those things.
Okay.
You have your own way of doing these things. You actually have the right to let your children know
No.
what they want to know at what age.
But we shouldn't forget again as parents that even in school at a certain age, I think SS1 or SS2, they would get to know.
That's a different
because
thing.
they would teach them in school. So
That's
is it
a
not
different
better
thing.
for you
No, that's
to...
a different thing. That age of SS1 is not the same age as big man who is 4.
No,
asking
yes,
you,
yes.
how did you get pregnant? How are you supposed to explain to him?
Oh, okay.
Extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Things that build the family are things that we look out for on Extra Speed. We're streaming live on YouTube, and so you can follow us here. Even if you come to Facebook, we're trying to put the link on Facebook now, and that's to say you can actually be part of Extra Speed 98.5 Speed FM Makurdi. And of course, we are looking at those questions that your children have asked you and you never find answers to. So back to Alamashagodobi team. Let's hear more.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
The other day, my daughter asked me that, why is it that things are very cost this time? I did not know what to tell her.
Is that one of those questions?
To him, those are one of the questions that his daughter asked him.
Why are things so expensive?
Yeah.
And he couldn't answer.
I
He
think
should have been able to.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, so we have a call here. You can connect. So when you do connect, let us know. So if little Harry asks you, why are things difficult? Why are things so expensive? Wouldn't you be able to answer?
Yeah, I would be able to answer her.
What would your answer be?
Maybe I'll tell her that the country is changing in a certain way, you know, because she has to. Because you know, one thing with children is that they have so many
Hello,
wives.
good morning. Okay, so the phone is misbehaving, obviously. But if you keep calling, you might just get through. 08084275464. That's 08084275464. Those questions that your children ask you that you don't find answers to easily. If you remember the ones that you asked. I asked my grandmom.
Okay.
Yeah. I asked the question, hello, good morning. So obviously something is wrong. For the first time, we can't even hear anything. It's not even coming out. So, well, keep trying and keep calling. You might just get there. We don't know. We have no idea what's happening. But at some point, we might just restart the software. So keep trying. You might just be lucky. So I asked my grandmom, hello, good morning. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange.
Totally strange. The calls are not, they are getting through. We can't hear anything. Okay, so if you can hear us, keep trying. And I'm trying to now restart the software, and we'll see how it works. But just keep trying. You might just be lucky. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, from the bank.
Emeka, your line is not too clear, but just say something. Let's see if we can hear you. Okay.
Wow.
Terribly bad.
Yeah.
Emeka, if you can try to call back. Right, so I asked my grandmom, you know, they plant yam, they harvest yam,
Yeah.
and then the seedlings, they plant again. So I think I was 5 when we visited the village, and I observed and I asked her, what's the point of farming? When you harvest the yam, you keep the yam, you plant again. She looked at me after a while and asked me, what about the one that I've been eating?
Yeah.
You know, so she was able to answer me, but I don't think I understood what she
Meant
answered.
at
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Okay. It's
Hello,
no.
hello, good morning. I was looking at the whole thing as you buy, you plant yam, you harvest, then you keep and plant
And
again.
plant
So it didn't
again.
make sense to me.
But now it does, right?
Obviously, it does. Hello, good morning.
Wow.
All right. Okay, so I'll try to go to your camera and do Alamashagodobi and then try to restart this software. It's extra speed. Stay tuned here and we go to Alamashagodobi team.
I asked them why is it that we're being promised that when we go to school we'll find jobs, and up till now we have finished our school. Some of us are graduates and no employment. Unemployment is on a high rise. Till now my parents are yet to answer this question.
Even
Yeah.
okay, even the parents too, they are even surprised too why they haven't been able to answer that question. But I don't really think that question has an answer, if you ask me, because where do you want to start?
Okay, he's saying that as a young man, they were promised they were leaders of tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
So tomorrow has come
and it's still coming,
and it's still coming.
and he is now matured. So I think by now he should know the answer. Of course, he should know the answer himself now. You
Yeah.
know, because I don't think there's an answer to that question at all. As
Yeah.
you grow, you would understand the
Ah,
system of the
Well, so he still wants his parents to answer
him. Yeah.
why they promised him to go to school, that he will be leader of
Tomorrow.
And so when is the tomorrow?
And still, he's still waiting to be a leader.
Yeah, he's not seen any
He's
hope.
not
What a question.
to ask.
Do you think that question would ever have an answer?
It wouldn't, though. It wouldn't. It wouldn't have an answer. You know, there was a time the kids came home and they were singing that song, and I was like, "Why are you guys singing that song?" I don't really think that song is it's real. Like, don't sing it, because at the end of the day, you guys would just be disappointed. At
Well,
the
they'll
end
be
of
leaders of tomorrow.
yeah, they will be. I'm not saying they wouldn't, you know, but I just feel they shouldn't be singing that song
Well,
in school.
Kids who can sing and be leaders of tomorrow. Extra speed, we're looking at childish questions. You know, life begins there. That innocence, they ask those questions with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
But sometimes we feel they're just asking those questions.
Questions,
And but to be sincere, they are questions that you can't easily have answers to.
Answers to, yeah.
So you can try 08084275464 now. That's 08084275464. Now try and see if you can get through, because we've restarted the software and it might just go through now. If it is not about network, then it should be able to work now. And just as you try, let's look at Lamashagorebi
All right.
and see what they're saying. Okay, let's try to pick this call. Hello, good morning. Okay, it's the same yesterday. So let's listen to what people are saying on the streets.
Okay.
Okay, like my baby asked me the other day that, Daddy, why is that uncle having car and the other uncle is not having car? And I laughed. The truth is, I laughed and there was no answer to give her, because I myself, I had no car. And she left me to ask her, why is that uncle having car and the other uncle don't have car?
So
I
yeah,
think for me, I would just simply answer and tell her all fingers are not equal. I think
she
that's
wouldn't
what
understand
she
it.
wouldn't understand, but I think she would understand at a certain point. Me, I don't buy the idea in which parents don't have answers to some questions.
It's not that easy.
But for me, I think I have
Hello.
answers. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Professor.
Okay, go on, Emeka. Can hardly.
Yeah, my student is asking a question.
Wow,
it's
it's really bad.
Yeah,
It's
the network
bad.
is bad.
So obviously it's about network now.
I think it's the network.
All right. Okay, so if it is network working, we do perhaps we'll try to get another SIM and try to see if it is network. Okay, so should I even give the number again? Is childish talk and those kind of questions that children ask and parents hardly have answers to.
Answers to it.
So this question, this one, let's go back to this and
Okay.
see how you think is that easy to answer this.
Okay.
Okay, like my baby asked me the other day that, Daddy, why is that uncle having car and the other uncle is not having car? And I laughed. The truth is, I laughed and there was no answer to give her, because I myself, I had no car. And she left me to ask why is that uncle having car and the other uncle don't have car.
So how do you even
The
understand
part
it?
that got me laughing is she left him, the father,
Exactly.
to go and ask why
Exactly.
is the other uncle not having car
Exactly.
when the dad himself doesn't even have.
So how would
a
you
car.
answer that kind of question?
Just as I said, all fingers are not equal. That's the only thing I would tell my daughter. All fingers are not equal. At this point, I don't have a car because I don't
it
have.
didn't even ask. She didn't ask about the dad.
Asking about the uncle. Well,
Exactly. And there's
that
no way-
uncle, the father is not in the house to know
Exactly.
why he is not having a car.
Exactly. So
But
why
I
would a
think
child ask, leave the father and go and ask?
I think he would have brought it back close to him.
No,
and
no,
say,
no.
My daughter, I don't have a car, but this is the reason why I don't have a car. And I
Memshi.
think she would. No, I
Memshi.
feel we
the
shouldn't
child
be.
knows that the father doesn't.
At times, maybe these children, they don't want to like shame the parents,
You
know,
are
so they,
assuming.
they just try to just
You are
go and
assuming.
ask that, okay, why is that or that uncle not having a car?
You are assuming
And
now. The
I'm not assuming.
You see
I
what?
just think children try to play fair with parents at times.
Well, that may be true,
Mm-hmm.
but you see, the thing is, this man says one of the reasons why he laughed is that me,
I know.
I don't get
Car. Now that other uncle.
uncle. You want to find
So he just laughed because there was nothing to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, but just as I said, I think she didn't want to like shame the dad. That was why she just had to just look for somebody far away from the dad and ask. So the only thing the father would have done was to like try and bring it back to himself and just tell her that, okay, I myself, I don't have a car and this is the reason
I am
because I
telling
don't
you,
have enough.
I am telling you that for the girl to know about car and watching an uncle, two uncles, one has, one doesn't. And for her to leave, she also
her
knows.
father
Yes.
to go and ask for
about-
another
exactly.
person. Maybe she thinks it's a normal thing for the dad not to have a car.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So perhaps that's what she thinks,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Anyways, extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi, and we're looking at those kind of questions, those childish questions. Now, when you say something is childish, it's like talking like childlike. So when an adult says something, you say that he's speaking that he's so childish.
Yeah.
So you're trying to dismiss them, but you discover that childishness has a lot of wisdom when children now ask those questions, and you find yourself not being able
to
answer them. That's when you know that okay, so it's not just childish.
It's not, yeah. And you would also notice that children observe. That's
Exactly.
another thing. They observe things very well. So I don't really think they are childish questions. If you look at it critically, there are some wisdoms inside what they are trying to say, you know. So, and one thing you should know that children, they observe what's going around them. So I think that's another point in which parents should also be careful in how they display some attitude around these children because they see things that are going on. So it's important.
All right, extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. I'm trying to insert another SIM. It's not even working. I don't know. It's not getting in, and I'm just being careful so that I don't destroy this hybrid. But that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
So extra speed, and I'm not giving you a number now because we're just trying to fix things here. But let me put this back. That goes in easily, but the other one is not going in. I don't know. 08084275464. That's 08084275464. Try to call now. If it works, then we might pick your call. We're looking at questions children ask, and we call them childish questions. Well, if you think they are childish, have you ever provided an answer
To them.
So call now. We go back to Alamashagodobi team.
All right.
In fact, like last week, they send him away from school fees. They say, "Daddy, why is it that it's only us that are sending us away from school fees?" I say, "Children, you may not know if I don't tell you how your father, what I am going into. But at least if you know the earthly one, that one she's just going to JS1 this year by the grace of God. Not my power, by the grace of God." That one asked me, "Daddy, in my class, it's only me that they always send me away from school fees. Why is this so?" I say, "Elela, that's her name. I say, Elela, my daughter, it's where you say, amen, God will give you money. God will give you all what you don't have, so that tomorrow we may be children of the nation.
Okay. So you see the twist there. The daughter knew the answer to that question, but she still went ahead to ask the father, because after the father said, "It is well, my daughter," Elela, right? It is well. She said, "Don't worry, God would provide money." So she knew the answer, but she just wanted her dad to actually confirm if her answer was right. I don't know, but she knew the answer to that question. But wow, children can actually ask questions.
Yeah. So the younger ones have been asking, and probably he doesn't have answers for them at that age. So, but for the Elela is going to just one.
Yes.
So he decided to say, "Elela, my daughter,
it is well." Then she now said, "Don't worry, amen. Don't worry, God will provide."
Okay, that's Elela
telling the dad. That's why I said she knew the answer to it, but she still went ahead to ask the father.
Perhaps there might be a reason, so she wants to know. Okay, so if you want to call now, we don't know if this would be better, but try to call. It's 0903 648 5868. That's 0903 648 5868. Try to see if that one goes through. I'm not sure at this point if it is, but you might want to try, and let's see if we can pick your call. It doesn't look like it's working either. Yeah,
it's not.
It doesn't look like it's working, but we'll keep trying so that you can call. It's Extra Speed on 98.5 Speed FM. Makudi King James here.
Mmemshima King.
And of course, you can call. What would you even call for? Not number yet. We'll give you. Okay, so we go back to Alamashagodobi team and hear what people are saying.
Okay.
One day I was farming inside in the back of my yard. So one lady passed, and I told the lady that this farm that I'm farming is for her. So this little boy heard what I speak with the gay. She come and ask me, say, "What do you say about the farm? Are you farm? The farm belong to the gay old. What are you doing?" So the question had me because it's a little child. I just laughed at him at the time. Up to now, you never even give him an answer.
So why not?
Because he doesn't have any answer to that question.
So he lied. Lied to the lady.
Maybe.
About the farm belonging to her.
Maybe.
Perhaps he was toasting a woman.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. But since I'm not there, and I'm sure maybe the child also, he would have an answer to that thing, or he would know what's going on, but he wanted to hear from the man's mouth, because it's more like you are farming and saying you're doing the farm for the lady. You understand? So it's more like, what did you tell that lady? You understand? So he didn't know how to believe to them that, "Oh, I'm trying to toast her." You understand?
So why are children like this?
You know, children now, they want to know. They're inquisitive. They really want to know things. So you wouldn't blame them.
So what do they want to know with this kind of knowledge at this age?
I just, maybe for backup. I can't say. But you know, funny enough, for our own kids, when they ask you these questions and you don't provide an answer for them, they try to tell you like, don't you think they're actually doing this and that? So you just only laugh or smile and you just leave them, because at the end of the day, they are giving you the answer to the question that they asked you, you know. So
they can, the answers are also funny. So the other day, I think yesterday, Big Man was about going to school and his bag, the zippers were open and I saw books inside. I said, "Big Man, why is your bag open?" He says, "Because I left it open."
Exactly. What else would he have said? You know, he left his bag open, so that's why it's open.
Wow. You know, so at that point, you don't even know what to ask next. These children.
Yeah.
All right, so at this point, let's go back to Alamashagodobi team and try to see what we can do with the phone.
Most times, my children ask me the position I got in the class when I was in school. And I find it difficult to tell them, because whenever you said you are not whenever you said you got first, because we always tell them that we are always getting first in class to encourage them, knowing fully well that in most cases we are only lying. It's not true. So sometimes we find it difficult to answer such questions.
So this man has been lying.
He has been lying, and I'm
His
assuming he
children
has
that
been
he
shutting the door in class. But you know, you cannot, you can't tell your child. Just as he said, we only tell them we've been taking the first position to encourage them. That's why you see most parents, they try to hide their school results. In fact, they don't want their children to see it at all, because I think they will use that one to say, "But Daddy, you were not." The
as
first, as I thought, you know, and you're always telling me to take the first position, you know. So what would you tell them at that point?
Right. So 0903 648 5868. 0903 648 5868. I think this has been confirmed to be up and about now. So 0903 648 5868. Try this one now. You may be able to get through. That's 0903 648 5868. Extra speed on us King Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. And we're looking at questions your children ask, and you never have answers. You never have, because even when you attempt to answer those ones, you just find out that, come on, you are just plunging into a lot of confusion more and more. So 0903 648 5868. That's 0903 648 5868. Let me take it in a way that you understand. 0903 648 5868. Am I too fast?
No.
0903 648 5868. If this doesn't work, then it's definitely not our fault again. So call now and see how you can be part of Extra Speed. Questions children ask, and you have no idea what to tell them. Let's go to Alamashigodobe team and find out what people are saying.
I will start with my name. I am Honorable Ambe Maxwell Tesi, and I remember that my parents went through a lot of answering of questions. As a child, I was very inquisitive. I used to ask them questions about how I came to be, how I was created. The opinions were different from the dad and the mom, because my dad had to conceal a lot of truths. So my dad could tell me we came to being by just we just happened to be. The mom could be like, we were procreated. They could be sincere, more sincere. You understand what I'm saying? So the opinions were different. I used to also inquire from my dad if he could solve certain problems. Children always expect their parents to solve like mathematical problems or assignments given from school, things like that. We wanted to know if our parents could cook as well.
This guy, why? But you see, the mind of a child, we are not in there. But I'm just wondering, why do they ask so many things?
I sincerely don't know. But just as he said,
a psychologist would simply say they are inquisitive.
Exactly, that's what they would say.
But that doesn't explain so much.
It doesn't explain so much. But children will always be children. But for me, I can't remember any question that I asked my parents, so
I asked a lot.
I didn't. For me, I didn't.
I asked a lot. Me, I can't remember all, but I was told that I used to talk and ask a lot of things.
Okay,
I really asked a lot of. Yes, you can see.
I can see where the resemblance is coming from.
Little hairy or
most of the
big
kids.
Man. Yes.
And wasn't say.
Of course, those things they ask, I asked more than them. Perhaps a combination of all of them.
Yeah.
I really asked questions.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. But I think when they are growing up, the questions are not much, because I think they've already gotten answers to those questions,
Yes, when they're growing up, some of the things they ask, They begin
And
to
some of
see
the things
themselves.
that we, the parents, we refuse to provide answers to them.
Mm-hmm.
They inquire those answers and get them from outside. So you see them, they don't really bother to ask you some questions again because they've known the answers already. So that's
It's
why.
just about growing. It's about growth.
Okay.
So you may not even know it could be at home.
Okay.
For instance, if a 2-year-old big man asks you why people are talking inside the radio, like a big man coming from the home he's coming, he wouldn't even ask that question.
Yeah.
He knows that daddy talks and he hears him in the radio and daddy is sitting there, even in the home studio.
Yeah.
So another child that is never close to a radio and radio production would ask, because a lot of children asked,
Yeah, they
who are
did.
those people talking in the radio?
Yeah, at times
Are they
you-
never
you-
hungry?
Yeah.
Children ask those questions.
At times you hear them say things like, "How are people in the TV?" And I'm like,
enjoying, yeah.
"Yeah, I don't understand."
How did they go
like,
to the market?
Yeah, you
Exactly.
know. So many questions that they ask you. At times there are some technical questions that they ask you that you don't have answers to them, and they expect you to have an answer to those
Yes,
questions
they expect you
because
to
they
know
see you as a
everything.
supernatural being, and they want you to answer those questions. So I feel at times if you don't answer those questions, they feel disappointed, kind of.
They do, but because they think you should be able to have answers. In your head, you
Yeah.
know that you don't even have the answers.
Just like this last guy on Alama Shagodobi, he was saying more like his mom and dad, they give him different answers,
yeah.
you know. So I don't know if that affected him in a way.
It can't affect
Okay, but
It
was
can't
the
affect
dad
it-
was? I think his mom was more open.
a bit. It can affect them at that stage.
Okay.
You know, when they ask you those questions, they look into your eyes. They know that you don't even know. But as they are growing up, for instance, children have asked that who gave birth to God.
Yeah, they have.
I've heard those
They
childish
have, yes,
questions,
yes,
when
yes.
we're doing a show, like, the Grand Morning Show at Kataba Hills. So I heard those questions. But as they are growing, naturally, big man at 4 may still ask you that question. But on the Quran say at 7 would not even ask that, even though he doesn't even know where God is. But he knows that God is just a being
It's
somewhere.
but funnily enough, I ask myself that question, even now that I'm matured. I
Oh,
do.
oh,
Like
oh.
I do. I'm like,
Confess.
is it possible that someone would just appear from nowhere and would just be God? You know, I ask myself those questions, you know. So
God
I
is a spirit.
I don't know.
Well, the truth is, nobody is also going to provide an answer.
Exactly.
Even if you ask now, people
nobody.
can attempt to tell you God is a spirit, so he's everywhere. But then they look up to heavens to still pray to God, thinking that he's up in the sky.
Exactly.
So it means that the adults trying to give those answers to you are confused themselves. Extra speed on our King Radio 98.5 Speed FM, Makudi. Do you think we should bring back this topic tomorrow?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because of the
people,
network. Yeah,
people
people have
really
a
want
whole
to
lot, yeah.
call, but they are not able to. So we go and ask different sets. Alama Shagodobi team should go out again, and we have different.
Yeah, and it'd also be nice if we can get views from children as well.
Do they know? Okay, the questions that they have not been answered.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so extra speed here. Now, try this line. I've tried it. It does go through, so it may not be going through for you. But 0903 648 5868. That's 0903 648 5868. And tell us those questions that your children have asked you, they've not been able to answer. Or the ones that you asked as a kid, if you remember, like I remember at least one of my questions that I asked my grandmom was the point farming yam.
Yeah.
When you farm yam, you harvest yam, you keep the yam, you plant the yam back. So to me, it didn't make sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
I forgot the part of the yam I ever consumed.
Yeah, exactly. That's the funny aspect. After enjoying it, you forgot that part.
Of course I did, because you just harvest them and then you keep under the guise of seedlings.
Yeah.
And then you take it and plant again. So I was confused. What's the point?
Was the point? Just leave it.
Exactly.
There
What's
was no
the point farming?
having-
Yeah, you keep it.
Exactly, yeah.
So that was what I thought from the eyes of a child. And well, she looked at me. The answer didn't come handy. But after looking at me, and she asked me, "What about the one that you've been eating?"
Consuming, yeah.
You know. So at that point, I kept quiet. But if I think, I would see a lot of questions that I asked myself. So we go back to Alama Shagodobi team.
All right.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
I once asked my father that I've not seen him and my mother sit down and laugh or smile or gist or hug or even pet each other. But at the end of the day, I used to see my mother with a big tummy. And somebody once told me, how I used to see from film, that before they do something that big tummy come out, the husband and the wife, they come in mutual understanding. They start by, even dogs, I used to see them, they will play with each other, do like this, and the rest of the time it will happen. So my father couldn't answer me, and there was a time my father quarreled with my mother, and my mother was crying, and I went out. I told my neighbor that I'm going to pack and live there in this house. So my neighbor said that I should leave. I said that my father he doesn't even show love to my mother, not even kissing. Then my neighbor laughed. He said that, Selomo, by kissing, faga. I say, why wouldn't I know? Because at the end of the day, they will bring out Bele. So I've asked them that kind of question, but they just laughed over it. They didn't answer me. So that is one of the questions that it was hard for them until I grew up. I discovered that it's only in the night, because right about now I'm married.
This guy is a Pankutus.
Oh, God.
Why would he be asking those kind of questions?
As in, it's really funny. He really wanted to know. But then you look at it again. He said he got the answers
when he grew up.
Watching movies. You understand? He got at least.
No, he didn't get the answer. The movies confused him.
The movies he watched
confused him.
It confused him?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking like...
That, No, he says that in the movies, he believed that husband and wife, they will always kiss or hug. That's the only time you know that there's a mutual relationship. Exactly.
His parents.
Yes,
so
they never get close, they quarrel.
Exactly, and he was wondering how...
Exactly, how is their own... Why is their own different?
Different, yeah.
He concluded that the dad doesn't even love the mom.
The mother
because never kissed, never hugged.
But I like the answer the neighbor gave to him.
The neighbor says, Selomo, very kissing for faga.
Exactly.
You know, even if they're kissing, you will not know, Selomo. So please don't go and carry that to be your own burden.
Yeah.
So he is saying that it's now that he has been married.
That he understands.
He understands.
He understands the question.
That he asked as a child.
He asked as a child, yeah.
So now, even if big man comes to ask you something and you tell him that when you grow, you know. Sometimes they ask, but I want to know now.
But luckily for me, I'm happy for my kids because they don't pressure me like that. Once I tell them, if there's a certain question that they ask me and I tell them that when you grow, you would understand, they would leave it. They don't even pressure me to ask me that they want to know. Hello, good morning. Hello.
All right, so that's a drop call.
Yeah.
So it's not about, maybe it's a general network thing, because that's another network that we just inserted there, but it still didn't connect. So, but you can try again, 0903 648 868. That's 0903 648 868. It will be difficult for kids. I mean, we don't have consent of parents, but if we find kids with the consent of the parents, we may ask them to ask those questions that they've never found answers. You know, those questions for kids, they come spontaneously while they're doing something and they come across it. So if you go asking kids, what have you ever asked, that no answer, they may not even know.
They may not.
They may not remember.
That's true.
But adults remember, and when you grow, you remember, I actually asked that question,
yes.
once. Because there are so many things that children ask.
There are. So I think there was a time Aundo Sorense came and told me that her classmate brings this certain thing to school. Why don't I give her that? And I was like, girl, accept whatever I give to you. Don't pressure me to give you what your classmate's mom or dad is giving to him or her. You know, maybe that's what they want to give to them, but for me, this is what I want to give to you, and I think that's
that was
better.
Not a difficult question.
It wasn't a difficult question, but then I feel some questions actually make some parents to try to be like the other child's parent.
They have no mind of their own.
Exactly. So I think there's a way you can like try to also bring up your children to be contented with what they have.
Because this man, I think this man, let's listen.
Okay.
You see that at least it was difficult for him, but he found an answer.
He did.
Hopefully, I think he's the one.
In fact, like last week, they send him away from school fees. They said, "Daddy, why is it that it's only us that are sending us away from school fees?" I say, "Children, you may not know if I don't tell you how your father, what I am going into. But at least if you know the elderly one, that one she's just going to JS1 this year by the grace of God, not my power, by the grace of God." That one asked me, "Daddy, in my class, it's only me that they always send me away from school fees. Why is this so?" I say, "Elela, that's her name." I say, "Elela, my daughter, it's where you say amen, God will give you money. God will give you all what you don't have, so that tomorrow we may be children of the nation."
Right. So for him, he couldn't provide that answer to the younger ones. But for Elela,
she understood.
Yeah.
She understood in as much as she asked that, why is it that she's the only person that is sent away from school for
How
school?
does she even know she's the only one?
Maybe they just come to just call her.
Elela,
out. You've not paid your school fees, But she knew the answer and she prayed for her father. So hopefully,
right,
God will answer.
Amen. Okay, bye-bye, Lela. God will bless you.
Yeah, God will bless
and you will have enough to pay Lela and the others.
Yeah.
Amen. Extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Makudi 9 minutes to 9 minutes to go on the show. But we promise you we are going to bring this show here tomorrow. And of course, we've been looking at so many things on our radio today, like International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. It's been on the news as well. Women go through. We're not going to talk so much about that, but I think it usually happens in early pregnancies because when you mature enough, it hardly happens around here. Except we don't know the statistics.
We don't know the statistics. We don't.
Okay, so we avoid that. But fistula is preventable.
It is.
Elamashagodobe team should go and talk to Dr. Hande. We call him after this show. Let him make himself available so that he can provide answers. And, all of that. So back to Extra Speed here, 8 minutes to go. And we're looking at...
questions children ask.
So not that easy because parents have not found those questions easy to provide answers to. So but of course I think children should keep asking.
Of course they should. It would keep their parents on their toes, So for those parents that they keep on lying to their children that they were taking the first position in school and receiving prizes. These children, don't let them catch you.
Why are you interested in that?
No, I'm interested in that too because I know many. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I even have some of my books.
Your results are there. So.
Yeah, and I have some of my books. So I even show it to them. Like, that's why I say for me, my own thinking as a parent is different from the way others they're actually thinking because I show them my books and I'm like, oh, see, mommy failed here, and that and I try to also give them that to solve, and I'll look around, they will tell me that, but mommy, that was very easy, and I'm like, really? So
do they talk about your handwriting, your poor handwriting?
My writing wasn't bad. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad at all. At least I can clap for myself because the Quran says he's doing well with his writing now, courtesy of me.
So what books do you show them? Primary one?
Primary one books. My primary one books, I show it to them. But I was very bad at maths.
So Adwan is challenging you?
Yes, he's challenging me. And at times when I need to calculate, I call him. I'm not shy. I learn from my kids, and I'm proud to say that.
No, the thing is, that's just one thing. We need to actually learn from them. Because when you want the birthdays of even the dogs and the chickens in the house and the fish, You call on the currency.
You call him, yes.
So he's the one that provides answers for us.
But yeah, he's the one. And at times when I take the children through their assignment, and I'm like, oh, go and meet our Nancy, let her go through it and be sure it's correct, So I'm not a shy mom. I'm proud. I'm proud to engage my kids and make them understand that you shouldn't be ashamed to ask someone if you don't know something, But by the time parents are proving to their children that, oh, no, I'm a super parent, I know everything, I think the children too, they would also have this biased mentality of being open to ask people for help as well.
So extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makurdi. We've been looking at those questions that children ask, and not just those questions. Most of those questions parents don't have answers to. And it has happened to you as well. So because we really want you to be part of this, we're going to bring this show back tomorrow. But of course, we'll try to get more answers from others. For today, let's go back to what people have said. Some of those ones.
Yeah. My son asked me, how did I get pregnant? I don't know how to answer him. I just told him that when he grow up, he will know. So when I had the boy, he asked me, where did the boy come from? How did he come out? Because my friend just gave birth and it was CS. So he was saying the daughter of my friend told him that they teared the mom and brought out baby. But what about my own? They did not tear me. So like that one, I don't know how to answer him. I just say the baby come out. I don't know how to answer him.
Right. Okay. So that's that, and it's been difficult for her.
It has
because
been difficult.
How did you get pregnant? That's the first one.
Yes.
Then they're asking you again.
But you know one funny thing? I just remembered when there was a time Sorunsi was just so interested in pregnant women. She would sneak your phone, and you can easily do a voice a voice search, and she would ask pregnant women how and all of that. So that's why I feel parents should be open to their children to a certain level, because if these children have access to your phone, they can get the answers. Even if you have a pass lock on your phone, there's a way they can maneuver.
So what
still.
things was she asking?
Basically, I get to see pregnant women on your phone. So I was asking her, what is this interest about pregnant women? But she would just laugh and not give me an answer. So I just allowed her be, But I think now she's not interested anymore.
Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makurdi. And of course, it's King James here together with
Mmemshima King.
All right. So it's been those questions that children ask, and those ones that you don't even have answers to. And it's not that easy, because if you try to find answers to every of those questions, sometimes you find yourself actually telling lies. And then the annoying part of it, the most difficult one for you again, is for them to also understand and discover that you're actually lying.
Yes, and they get to ask you,
yeah,
but Mom, you told me we shouldn't lie, but you just lied now,
And then you're trying to say, no, I didn't lie, but
Oh my God, kids.
So, but again, those questions must keep coming in.
Yes.
So what should parents do?
It's just for them to try as much as possible to provide answers to them. That's it for me. You just try as much as possible to provide an answer for them. Don't try and beat around the bush too much, because these children, they can always get their answers anywhere.
Right. Okay, so if you can't find an answer, I think you should just leave that. That is what I can tell you now, because most of these questions, they actually don't have answers. You may just try to answer them, but I don't think it's that easy. We'll have a call here. Somebody trying to call. Hello? Right, still not able to work, even when I placed some calls to some doctors to tell us about fistula prevention. It didn't work, so we'll just try later if we can bring them on. So let's look at one question.
Okay.
And what's this one? Let's see this one.
Okay.
The other day, my daughter asked me that, why is it that things are very cost this time? I did not know what to tell her.
This man should have an answer.
He should have an answer. He should.
So what should he say?
Well, the economy is bad. It's bad, you know. For us, if you get to the children that don't waste food, you know, things are expensive, and they look at you like, what are you saying?
What about this man?
Okay, like my baby asked me the other day that, Daddy, why is that uncle having car and the other uncle is not having car? And I laughed. The truth is, I laughed and there was no answer to give her because I myself, I had no car. And she left me to ask why is that uncle having car and the other uncle don't have car.
So what should be his answer? He should have an answer.
He should have an answer, no matter how.
I don't agree with you.
You don't.
I don't agree with you.
It's how he laughed and looked at himself
exactly.
like, I don't have a car. Like,
so
seriously.
why do you leave me to go and ask me about two other people? How do you expect him to have an answer? Memshi,
all right.
Say bye.
Bye.
We play the greatest music. 98.5 Speed FM.
As King Radio 98.5